Hello. I'm Dr. Nura. I'm one of the GP trainees currently in my third year of GP training in North Wales. Welcome to my channel. And today I would like to discuss about how to buy a house as a junior doctor or IMG. First is I will explain the reasons why it is difficult for a doctor to buy a house or get a mortgage. And then after that I will give some tips on how to be successful in buying a house, especially for us junior doctors or even us IMGs under tier 2 visa as well. So firstly, why can it be hard for doctors to get a mortgage? As a doctor in the UK, we tend to work in the short-term contracts. This is how our training is structured. So we tend to have kind of 1 year of FY1 and then we have to have another year of a different contract, and then CMT, kind of another contract, 3 years, or 6 months, different hospital. So basically this gives the impression to the bank that we don't have long-term contract, even though the whole training, the whole time we're working, we're under the NHS. But the fact that because we keep moving from one job to another and also sometimes different health boards, this actually kind of shows to the bank that we don't have long-term jobs because we keep moving around. So if a lender doesn't understand our job, the nature of our job, so they may see this as a lack of job security. So the stability of our income is the key when lenders look at our ability to pay the mortgage back. And then next is complex income. So doctors have complex income. This might probably be more for the GP who's going to partnerships, or doctors doing locum works, or kind of working across from NHS and private. So we have all these different pay slips, and sometimes GP income can be made up of the salary and ad hoc drawings or dividends. So kind of all this complex income. So this might make difficult to get mortgage for doctors as well. Basically what we need to do is we need to look at the lender who looks over the long term of our earnings in order to get the best mortgage offer. And thirdly, a history of moving. So as doctors, obviously we move around from one job to another, and sometimes across to England, to North Wales, to wherever the job calls us, wherever the training specifies that we have to go. Now this makes it quite hard to settle down and buy a house, because what if we buy a house and then we have to move for the next 3 years, and there's no point buying a house. And also it can also affect the chances of getting mortgage as well. And frequent changes of address can actually affect the credit score if you're not careful to leave a credit trail. So sometimes living in shared accommodation can affect your credit, especially if one of the housemates have bad credit associated with that address. So that might affect our credit as well. For us non-British doctors like IMGs, because we don't live in the UK, history of living abroad or also the visa can make it hard for lenders to assess credit history. So now I'll go on to the tips to be successful in mortgage application, and hopefully will help you in buying your own house even in tier 2. Definitely doable. So the first is using mortgage advisor. Yes, so I know there's a few mortgage advisor, there's the free one and also there's the paid one. And people, there's a saying this, basically, if you have to pay to get a mortgage advisor, then they would be able to get you the best rates. So basically that's it. But definitely you can pay. I paid for mine mortgage advisor around £300, I think. It's very very good and very stress-free, and definitely will help in our application to get a mortgage. So the mortgage advisor will liaise with us, will try to get the best rates for us and offer financial advice when choosing the best mortgage for us. And also they can liaise with the lender to achieve the best outcome for our mortgage application. They sometimes have the special rates from all the different lenders, which only accessible when we go through them. Also, they can help the lender to fully understand our situation, especially as doctors or IMG, and they can let them understand about how much we can borrow over the long term, and kind of our situation with work and salary. And like I mentioned, some charges fees. The other one is you can also employ professional mortgages for doctors. So there are kind of mortgage specialists. So these mortgage advisors, they they were catered for the professionals, and some also just catered for doctors. So definitely, because they understand more about doctors, they understand about our nature of work, nature of moving, our contract and our salary, and they similar to the mortgage advisors, except they are more specific for doctors. And sometimes you can get quite more generous mortgage offers and also low deposit mortgages in many cases. Although there's a low deposit, I think it kind of depends on the economy at the moment. So the second is check your health score and improve them. So you can do this free by registering account, go for a trial and download your credit score and see how you can improve. So definitely do this kind of, when you decide, oh, you want to buy a house, then just do it. And probably you can do it straight away, because it needs time to kind of build our credit score and make it a bit stronger and higher score. So you can use services like Experian or Equifax. Even if you're not ready to buy a house yet, it is wise to get on top of this as soon as you can. So definitely download them. And lots of things can affect your credit score: your debt levels, bill payment history, previous failed application for credit, or even previous applications for credit. This all takes, play a part. Your address history is also important. So make sure that you check the address history. Are they correct? Are you enrolled in the electoral roll? Because this actually helps to confirm where you are living. Check the visa. So for us, IMG, on the visa, just check how long we have left on our visa. So basically, lenders like it if we have at least a year left in our tier 2 visa. So if you have less, then probably best to apply it when you've just renewed your visa, because they wanted to make sure that you have a long length in the visa. The next is check how much you can afford for the mortgage. So you can do this easily online. Banks have it, the mortgage calculator. They can calculate just a rough idea, and then sometimes they can also offer the mortgage in principle, which actually documented how much you can afford. This will help you narrow down the property search, and also if you want to buy a house a bit outside of your budget, then you know how to kind of increase the income to kind of buy the dream house. You also need to prove this salary via obviously pay slips and also the P60. So definitely keep a good record of this. If you're applying for a mortgage as a self-employed, so definitely you'll need to show at least 2 or 3 years of tax returns. Now, few months leading to the mortgage application, definitely slim down the expenditure. Banks also look at our bank statement to see how much money is going in and going out, and they like to look at our spending. So definitely don't spend too much on the kind of non-necessary stuff, and they normally look back at your 3 to 6 months history of spending. They will also look at your regular expenditures, food, energy bills, so reduce all the takeaways. But if you're paying off student loan, car finance, all these loans, then actually it will give a good impact on your application. If you're paying a lot in rent, don't worry, because the lenders are only interested in the expenses, because obviously the mortgage will will replace the rent. The next is save for deposit. The bigger deposit you provide, the better the mortgage rate, and also the bigger the better. If you're getting donations from parents for the deposit, then definitely you will need to do few things that the lender wanted, like letter from the parents confirming that this is a gift and they're not expecting you to pay them back. Another tips of saving for deposit, so definitely if you're saving the deposit, open ISA account. They used to have help to buy ISA, but I think it's closed now. The other option is the live ISA. So it works the same way. So register straight away. You have to register before you turn 40 years old. The government contributes about 25% of the total deposit. At the end, before we pay the deposit, the government will top up another 25% in contribution to our deposit, and this can be used for legal fees, surveys, all this. You can put up to 4,000 each year into this ISA account until you're 50. The government will add 25% bonus, so maximum of £1,000 a year. So basically you're just getting the bonus just because you're saving. So that's a lot of money, and basically you should take advantage of this. I also use help to buy ISA to kind of buy my first house as well. there is a few criterias to use this Life ISA to buy your first home. So I'll list down the criteria here because they have their specific conditions, kind of, you know, how much a property costs, and because the bonus will go straight into the solicitor's account and it will actually deposited during the kind of the exchange process. If you're buying with someone else, then definitely ask that person also to register for this ISA account, because you can combine two LISA as a deposit to buy your house, which means you will get double the deposit amount if there is two person buying the house. But just remember to check the terms and condition of using the lifetime ISA, because there is some kind of penalty if you take out the money before buying your house, or they have kind of their specific rules. So hopefully these tips help you in buying your first house as a junior doctor IMG here in the UK. Next, what I will do is I'll make a video of how my process of how buying a house and kind of my review of living in a new house for the past 1 year. But if you have any questions about getting mortgage as a junior doctor, as a tier 2 doctor IMG, then please leave the comment down below and I will see you in the next video. Bye!